Hello everyone, Theron here, and before I start talking, I'm going to give you a little background on this tournament and what I've done in Jiu Jitsu so far. But basically what I'm going to be talking about is how powerlifting has helped my performance as a Jiu Jitsu competitor. So this competition was the Hickson Gracie Cup, and this was on September 16th, so a few weeks ago from when I'm now making this video, and I believe it was the first one to come to America. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on it. Now, to talk about myself a little bit in Jiu-Jitsu, I have zero wrestling experience. I've been training for a year and a half now. Started training the February of 2016, I believe it was, yes. So I've been training since February 2016. I'm still a white belt. Like I said, have no prior combat sports experience. I just decided I really love martial arts, mixed martial arts, and I want to try it. I did Muay Thai for a little bit, and Jiu Jitsu is the one I really enjoyed. So I stuck with it. Now, as for what I've done as a white belt, I know a lot of people may think, oh, he's just a white belt. Those kind of mean nothing. Well, it means a little bit to me. I've had 21 competition matches, and I've placed first in every competition I've done. So I'm 21-0 as a white belt. I've competed in Naga, the Hickson Gracie Cup, and the Good Fight BJJ, which is pretty much a sub-only tournament. And I've taken first in all of those. In several divisions, I have 7 gold medals for each competition I've done. So I've had a pretty decent run as a white belt right now. I feel like just at my academy, the insight that we give based on how we approach sport jiu-jitsu and the thought process of like knowing your game plan, going in there and performing what you're best at, I feel like that's had great carryover to my performance as a competitor. So before I start talking about how powerlifting's helped my jiu-jitsu, this is probably I had the toughest situation of my day in here. This gentleman was 20 pounds over me, I believe. I weighed in at 182, and they dropped him a weight division because surprisingly his was empty. And I believe he's a blue belt. I saw a picture of him with a blue belt on. But moving on, he gave me my toughest situation of the day. If you watch our scramble right here, his length was so interesting to deal with. I've never gone against a competitor with that much of a... He had a very good height advantage on me, and he had very long limbs, and I'm not going to lie, when I looked across the mat at him before we stepped on, I was like, oh shit, this guy's bigger than me. I don't see that a lot. I'm usually a little bit larger than my competitors, so it was something else, but I worked my game plan, worked my pressure, and now I'll start talking about how powerlifting has contributed to that. You can tell by my last match, and you're going to see it a lot this match, I really like to bring pressure to my opponent. I'm very old school. I just like to use my weight, kind of break their will, heavy cross faces, attack key locks, some arm bars, arm triangles, things like that. I feel like my powerlifting background has helped me just be able to, I don't know, on top of learning how to distribute my weight when using my strength as well, that's really been a big factor for me. I've had guys tell me that I feel like I'm 500 pounds when I'm dropping a crossface on them, and they just really can't move. And I will say, just, I don't know, having that extra strength, that weightlifting background, being able to do the lifts that I do at the weight I can. And a lot of people think it's taboo that, oh, weightlifting's going to make you slower, it's going to make you less, like, it's just going to hinder your performance in a combat sport. And I really beg to differ, honestly, because I'm going to give it to you like this. When I could see if I was completely dependent on my strength, only going so far, but I'm not. When I'm in practice and when I'm rolling at my club or at my gym, I focus 100% on technique. I try to use as little of my strength as I can. I really try not to muscle anything, just all technique, technique, technique. I feel like that way I can get it down properly, and when the time comes to use my strength, I can use it. When I go to competition, I've found a way to perfectly blend my strength and technique together. And my coach and me had a discussion about the first week I started training about how I'm a very strong individual, but I'm going to find situations where I can't muscle everything. I need to use technique. I need to really find a way to find that perfect balance. And for myself, I found that if I really focus on using technique throughout, like just regular training sessions and whatnot, and then when I'm coming into competition, slowly start integrating my strength into my moves and my game, that I'm able to really reap the benefits of strength and technique together with my game and the style I like to roll with. Now, talking a little bit more lift specific, I feel like movements like the deadlift, the overhead press have just made me a very explosive athlete, because those are explosive lifts. You need to explode off your chest with the overhead press, and you need to explode with the bar coming off the ground with the deadlift. I feel like those have come in very, very big with how I like to train just as an explosive athlete. You'll see my X pass right there. I just kind of exploded when I pushed the knee through, and that's really how I like to be. I'm very explosive, and I finished this with an Americana. I really enjoy the key locks because I feel like it's my whole body against that one limb. And I'm, like I said, not trying to toot my horn, I'm a very strong individual, and if I have a Kimura set up, I usually rarely find myself not finishing it. So this is I do gi as well. This is my final gi match. I skipped the other two. So yeah, even against just taller opponents, I know how to work. I find guys getting very aggressive with me, and I'm able to keep my base very well. I can get low to the ground. I have very large legs, and guys have a hard time moving me and taking me down. And I find just because I'm able to center my body better, and if they try to like pull me one way, I can just base out really hard and not really have a problem with them tugging me around or bullying me around, because I just have that strength advantage on them. And you'll see here I'm really swimming for underhooks, and once I get under him, there's really not much he's able to do. He's really trying hard to hold my gi off me, and I grab his belt here and just do a simple little I just get right under him and give him a little lift off the ground and get my takedown. And like I said, you'll see in all three of these matches, I really stick to my game plan. My game plan is just to get on top of them, drop my shoulder, cross face, apply pressure, and really just break their will while racking up points. And when they see that they're in a point deficit, that's when I really am able to start working for submissions, because a lot of guys, when they look at the scoreboard and see, oh, I'm down 10-0, they'll start getting very reckless, and I can set up for finishes. So that also helps me as well. And I feel like I'm better in gi just because it helps me more. I'm able to use it from top half guard a little bit more, side control a little bit better. I like to set up the little arm from side control. I don't do it in this match, but yeah, and I just seen how it has not hindered me at all being a powerlifter and doing jiu-jitsu. I'm able to stay explosive, stay fast, and stay very, very consistent and tight against my opponents when I'm facing off against them. I'll leave everyone with one more little thing of thought. I have the benefit of training with a very top, one of the top black belts in Canada, and we had a discussion one time, and he says he believes it's foolish that people think strength isn't a factor in jiu-jitsu, because you can only get so far with technique if you're facing off against a stronger opponent. Your technique may not be able to help you, especially if they can just bully you around and rip themselves out of every submission. You need to have that strength aspect integrated into your game. And he pointed it out, it's like a spectrum. It's a full circle you have to fill. There's the knowledge of the sport, having the heart, being just a a strong competitor as well, because there's people who can look amazing in the gym and then they get out on the mat as a competitor and they just don't look that great. Having strength and technique, it all combines in a full circle. It's not just the technique aspect. And I'm trying my best to just make strength like come into my game as much as possible. So I hope you guys got that. It was pretty much just me ranting about jiu-jitsu and how pretty much I lift and I reap the benefits of the strength training and the technique wise from jiu-jitsu. So hope you guys got a little bit out of that. Stay tuned for more videos to come soon, and thank you for watching, everyone.